In Avondale Heights, property values are going off there. Through the roof. We've still got the ammunition dump in the detention centre. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all the winners so far tonight, and indeed all of you for the wonderful work that you do. This is an important event in Parliament's annual calendar. It does bring, I believe, a degree of unity of purpose from Liberal, Labor, Greens and National Party members, a chance to even reflect upon what we agree. Because we gather tonight to celebrate an essential truth. Migration has enriched every generation of our Australian story. Every generation of Australians too have been better at understanding and embracing this truth. Here, in the country we call home, modern Australia, we do not just tolerate diversity, we embrace it. We recognise how lucky we are to count people from every flag, faith, culture and tradition amongst our own. But often our rhetoric focuses on the cultural benefits of migration, the art and architecture, the poetry, music, festivals and food. These are indeed obvious sights and sounds and tastes of our multicultural nation. But I believe we can do more to celebrate the contribution that permanent migration makes to our national prosperity. Consider this number. In their first year of arrival, migrants contribute a net economic benefit of around $880 million. 10 years later, the same group will be contributing around $2 billion to our economy. So next time you hear someone bemoaning the cost of immigration, you know, one of those dreadful emails which complains about what migrants are getting, go tell them this truth. Within 6 months of arrival, migrants have a participation rate in our workforce of nearly 80%. This is compared to a national average of 65%. People who arrive under our skilled migration program have a participation rate of 95%. 95%. Sometimes this means taking the jobs that other Australians are not prepared to do. Working late nights and early mornings and long weekends. Stacking shelves, cleaning offices, driving taxis, working the back shifts of our factories. Knowing that their hard work, their sacrifices will give their children the chance for a better, more rewarding life. Children who even now are winning prizes in our schools, excelling in our universities, going on to serve as the next generation of business leaders, community leaders, thought leaders. The high workforce participation rate of Australian migrants, though, is only part of the economic story. Migrants set the entrepreneurial example. Think about these numbers. 15 out of every 100 people born in Australia are self-employed. But of Australians born in Asia, it's 17 in every 100. Born in Europe, 23 in every 100. And from the Middle East, 25 in every 100. These are Australians taking risks, launching startups, opening businesses. From law firms, restaurants, newsagents to corner shops, market gardens and childcare centres. You know these stories because they are the stories of our community, in our streets, in our suburbs, in our towns. Everyone adding to the community and adding to jobs. Diversifying our economy as well as our society. Friends, my father was a migrant, but I cannot imagine the difficulty of leaving behind the country of your birth, the familiar places, the children you went to school with, growing old apart from the friends you first had. This is a hard decision. People who make this decision, people who choose to start a new life in an unfamiliar country, are tough people. They are courageous people. They are self-starters. The exact type of Aussie who has the drive and self-belief to launch an innovative small business or to bring a new idea to our workplaces. Helping all Australians adapt, compete and succeed in a transforming global economy and a growing region. As George explains so well in his book, The Australian Moment, increased migration from Asia has given us greater confidence in Asia. The confidence to seek security in our region, not from our region. So friends, when I look and when we look at the thriving multicultural society and economy of marvellous modern Australia, there's indeed much to celebrate. But there's also a truth we must confront, especially in the Parliament of Australia when people expect leadership from all of us. The truth is that too often, even now, questions of migration, population and border security are artificially merged into one unedifying, unsatisfactory shouting match. Let us be clear. Complaining about traffic on the roads or crowded trains is not an argument against permanent migration. It is proof of the need for improved infrastructure processes, better planning and stronger leadership. Growing unemployment is not an argument against permanent migration. It is proof that we need to embed the migrant ethos of hard work and enterprise into more of our productive and competitive workplaces. And by the way, hate campaigns attacking the reputation of the multi-billion-dollar halal industry is not an argument against migration. It's proof of Australian exceptionalism in diversifying job creation and capturing new export markets for our nation. Coded statements about preserving community harmony are not an argument against migration. Indeed, they are a reminder that Australians by birth have a responsibility and an opportunity to embrace Australians by choice. Friends, there is hope in the promise of harmony and peace. There is no hope in racism, intolerance, and condoning bigotry and violence, no matter how seductively or forcefully this promise is offered. The bigots, the racists, the haters, the extremists, the people who have the nerve to speak of reclaiming Australia do not speak for the country that we love. Every Australian is equal, no matter what their faith, no matter their country of birth, no matter their gender or their culture. Faith, tradition, cultures, they're the bases we build upon, and they should never be destinations that we retreat into. Friends, tonight is about praising, as we often do, the effect of migration and multiculturalism on our society. But let us be better at recognising and celebrating the contribution migration makes to our economy. Let us maintain our faith in Australia. We should be proud of who we are. We should be proud of our migrant identity. We should be proud of our great future that offers ahead of us. We should be the nation, by our actions, not just our words, that we want our children to see us be, that we would like to explain to strangers who we are. Thank you for the contribution you make to making this the best country in the world. Thank you.